We are live and welcome, welcome. I'm super excited. Thank you guys for showing up. I saw a ton of people in the comments already saying hello. Hey guys, I'm Liz Wilcox. It is Tuesday, March 12th. I think I am in a ghost village, it looks like. I'm outside right now. I'm at a friend's house near Fort Walton Beach, Destin area. And the internet was not working inside. If you've ever been to this area of the country, all the houses are made out of cement block. So it's really hard to get internet from one end of the house to the other. So I'm outside, and right inside is where the internet is. So let's hope it lasts for tonight. Hey guys, someone says, is someone going to sing the national anthem? No, they're not, but that's a great idea, and I should totally do that to start every show because that's how important these events are. And you can hear Camille in the background probably. I don't think she's muted. Unknown Normal says hi from Tampa. Is it still snowing in Iowa, Dave? That would stink. Dick is already asking questions. Who's already working remotely? Clearly, I'm working about as remotely as you can get right now. Awesome. Welcome, welcome. I think my husband is here tonight. I am not with him. As you guys know, normally he's driving around with Chelsea while I do this show. It's definitely a family affair. But tonight, Chelsea is inside watching a movie, and so cross your fingers she lasts through the whole movie so we can get through this. Dick says, Camille cannot be muted. Don't mute her. All right, so that's our guest tonight, Camille Attell of Remote Work School. She also runs a blog with her husband, Bryce, called More Than a Wheelin'. I actually met Camille a little over 2 years ago. It's crazy to think about. I was telling my friend today that we've been working together as accountability buddies and blogging partners for almost 2 years. I think it'll be 2 years in just a couple weeks. And I was like, wow, that feels so special that we're still both doing this and working really hard to help the RVing community. And I'm really excited to bring her on tonight. Yeah, let's just bring her out because you never know what's going on in this tonight's show. Hey, Camille, how you doing? Yeah, of course. If you guys haven't heard me talk about Camille, if you're not part of my newsletter, I always say Camille is my go-to. I do have a remote work position that Camille helped me get probably about a year and a half ago. And it's just been great. I mean, she gave me one tip. I wrote my resume. I got the job. It was amazing. Does Size Matter says, hey, Liz, we are here round 2 with Camille. Yeah, Camille said she was just doing another talk in another Nomad group, and some people were coming over. So you guys get a double dose of Camille tonight. Super jealous. Yeah, Camille, I think that you're probably like, I don't know, my blogging and RV inspiration always. So thanks so much for coming on. Hang on. I think you're muted. Well, can you guys hear her? Let me know. This is awesome. I just love when this happens, you guys. Seriously. Let's see. Sound levels. Oh, all right. Can you guys hear her now? Can you talk, Camille?
Hi guys, can you guys hear me? Hello, hello. Nothing?
I think they can hear you. I think it was muted on my part. I'm so sorry, Camille.
That's okay.
Dick says you jinxed her, or he jinxed you, because he said you could not mute her.
That's right.
Yeah, that was definitely my fault, you guys. I've been having some really weird problems with this software, where the second I hit live, all my settings go back to 0. So I'm really sorry about that. Hey, Jerry Minchie is here. He's in Costa Rica, and he says, Camille, you sound fine.
Oh, good. Thank you. Yay.
Yeah, awesome. Everyone can hear her. Great. So Camille was just saying that, I'm the reason that she still blogs. No big deal.
Oh, I thought I was muted, Liz. I guess you heard that.
Oh, I heard you. That's why I didn't know until people said, hey, Liz, could you turn her sound on for us?
Oh, okay.
It's really a community effort here on TVC Live. I really couldn't do it without an audience because I would I would hit like the finish button and then realize nothing was working. Oh, that's so funny. But anyway, tonight we're going to talk about remote work. As you guys know, I know most of you are in my newsletter or attended Camille's webinar already. She is launching her course right now, Remote Work School. So we're not going to go into this big shebang about that. But we just wanted to answer your questions. I've been taking audience questions for the last couple weeks. So I've got a few of those that are the virtual campground specific that were asked to forward on to Camille. So Camille, are you ready?
I'm ready. Bring it on.
Awesome.
Exciting.
All right. So question number 1 is there any kind of remote job for proofreading people's posts and blocks for grammatical errors, misspellings, stuff like that? I would be interested in that.
Oh my gosh, that's like one of the hottest remote jobs. It's called copy editor. So absolutely, there are a lot of those out there. I think as long as you have the skill sets, then you can find those all over the place on all of the platforms. But if you don't have those skills, then you probably want to brush up on some courses, which you can find online everywhere. But yeah, copywriting, proofreading, proof editing, copy editing, those are very hot remote jobs. Absolutely.
So I don't think I've ever actually even heard of a copy editor. So that's someone that literally just edits your copy, I guess?
Yes, that's exactly what that
wow,
means.
Liz is a genius. Now you guys know.
Yeah, well, and it's great because, you know, when you write, if you're a creator and you're creating content or whatever and you're writing, that doesn't mean you're like really great at grammar or spelling or punctuation. I'm not. And so hiring someone like a proofreader or a copy editor is a way to make your stuff look and feel more professional to people.
That's awesome. Lisa Stewart says, OMG, that's the job for me. And here's a question related that we already have. It says, I have copy editor skills. What do people hiring want to see in my portfolio?
Well, I think that that's great. I don't know who asked the question, but, okay.
Lana.
So, yeah, I mean, if you already have the skills and you want to be able to just prove that you have done work or could do work. So in your portfolio, you would want to show any samples of work that you've proofread or, copy edited. You'd want to, obviously you need that in your resume or any of the platforms that you might be on, job platforms, etc. You want to make sure that and by the way, make sure your stuff is totally buttoned up in terms of copy editing and grammar and punctuation. Like, don't call yourself that and then have a resume with all kinds of errors and stuff like that. So, everything you do should reflect that those are the skills that you have.
That's a good point. That reminds me of this show. Like, oh yeah, I run a talk show, and then I'm like, oh, you can't hear her? Like, I'm never going to be hired by like an actual production company, people. Purely for fun here. Purely for fun here. Yeah, this show has not been monetized, y'all, clearly. There's no sponsors on DBZ Live. Anyway, yeah, Dick says there are levels like proofing, style, grammar, technical. Penny, you guys should take her up on this. She says she's a certified copy editor and proofreader. Happy to help anyone. That's awesome. Thank you, Penny.
Penny just proofed my stuff last week. Actually,
that's awesome.
If that's the same Penny. Yeah, no, she did a great job. So there you go.
Oh, this is a good one. Would a blog count for a copy editor?
100%. Yeah. Well, it would matter if you're copy editing your own blog or someone else's. I guess either way, it doesn't matter. Yeah. As long as you can prove that thing is airtight, then yeah, you've got a body of work that you can show people as like a resume or in your portfolio.
Yeah, that's good. Awesome. Penny says, yay. Thank you, Camille. So yeah, I think it was her. Lana, who asked the question, she said, okay, people, send me some crappy samples to clean up so she can put that in her. You know what? No problem. Shoot me an email. I've got plenty of stuff for you. That's awesome. That's a great question. So yeah, copy editor. And you said that you would be able to find that across all platforms. Can you give a couple of examples?
It's very popular, that job. I mean, and you can even go on a site like Upwork and put up a profile of what you do. You can have samples. If you don't know Upwork, that is something that I teach in my program. I actually have an expert come in and train on Upwork. But yeah, I mean, you can do freelance copywriting. You can get hired by a company. It's very hot right now. I think it's one of the top 20 hot remote jobs, if I'm remembering my data right.
Yeah, and now that you mention it, when I was first starting my website and trying to, find ways to monetize myself online, that was the first thing I did. Somebody posted in a Facebook group, they had just started a blog, but they were really bad with grammar, and they just needed someone to look over, see if it made sense, find the errors in punctuation, spelling, etc. And she paid me like $30 a blog post. I don't know what a good rate is, but for me, it was my very first $30 online, so I felt amazing and treated myself to a steak dinner, y'all.
Oh my gosh, Liz, my first remote job, I treated myself to a steak dinner.
Air 5, y'all.
Air 5. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Of course. I mean, what else would you treat yourself to?
Right.
But yeah, so that was my very first thing. I did that for a few months for her. And then she realized, blogging wasn't for her, whatever. And then, I was able to create my own book and have to edit that. So yeah, I guess that would be a really hot topic. I mean, even now I would love for someone to come on my blog so I wouldn't have to edit it. Mm-hmm. Dick says, I have learned Air 5 tonight. I'm done. He's out. He's learned everything he needed to learn. That's awesome. All right, cool. And as we're talking, I love that you guys are popping in questions. Again, I always say, if I don't answer your question, if I don't ask it live, please pop it in again. Sometimes the comments are coming in so fast, and it's really hard to scroll up through it and, pay attention to what everyone is saying. So just pop questions in again if I don't answer it right away. Let's go into the second one here. We've got, hey Liz, Ed here. I got your email about answering questions regarding working remotely. Here's one for you. My wife is nearly 30 years and a manager of medical doctors' offices, basically looking for what she could do remotely besides coding. She knows a lot about coding, but unfortunately you have to get certified, and that takes, going back to school, and she's 50. So anyway, any idea for a medical officer or office manager, what type of work could they be doing remotely?
Okay. Yeah, no. So a couple things. First of all, let's start with the coding that you need a certification to code. You don't. If she knows how to code and if she likes it and if she's good at it, she can do that without being certified, especially as a freelance job if she were into that. So if that's your barrier, then move on from that. You really don't need to be certified. But secondly, what comes to mind for me is that she has what are called transferable skills. So if she's working in a medical office for as long as she's picking up all these other skills that she could transfer into other job types. It could be, some sort of administrative role. It could be billing. It could be so many things that it doesn't need to be medical related, or it could be. I mean, I hear that and I'm like, that person has so many skills. There are many types of virtual jobs open to her where she could just take that skill set and plop it into some other job type. So the key to all of that is there's a ton of opportunities for your wife. I wish I had names, but that's the best, your wife sounds a little impersonal. So,
we'll go with Edna.
Yeah. Oh, okay, good.
His name was Ed. Her name's Edna.
Oh, Edna. Perfect. Yeah. Edna has a lot of opportunities available.
That's awesome. And I love that the thing that I learned from Camille and how I was able to revise my resume, well, really write it for the first time because I had always worked for myself, was that she said, you have all these skills, you just need to put it in a way that shows you can do the job you want to do. And that was the first time I thought, that makes a lot of sense. And that's exactly what I did, and it worked. I had these transferable skills. I hadn't necessarily done the job that I wanted, but I had done so many other things that I knew I could easily, do what was required. I just needed to put it on paper. So that's something that Camille helped me with a ton. And I was able to, nail that first impression through the resume that way.
Awesome.
Dave says, anyone else lose sound? In the comments, can you guys tell him if he can't hear me to just exit and come back in, and then he'd be able to probably hear us. All right, let's go on to question 3. Hey Liz, this is David. It's not really a question for me, but he's such a considerate soul. He's asking this for others. You will probably get this from other folks. Ask Camille what you should do about state taxes when you're working various states or local city taxes, if that's applicable.
Yeah, so I am not the tax person, although both Liz and I know a tax expert who deals specifically with this topic. She's much better to ask. Bryce and I are just now learning how to navigate the whole statewide tax thing. Now, luckily for us, we have an LLC established in California, and it's been helpful that California hasn't been one of those states that's been too difficult to work with. But I think we're learning that states are starting to implement this whole, like, you have to report on state tax anytime you move and anytime you sell in the state. So I think that more of that is coming, but I just don't know that it's being, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't think that the states are quite there yet with enforcing any of that to a degree that we've been worried about. But I just can't answer that because I'm not a tax specialist. But we have plenty of resources for folks if that's something that concerns them.
Yeah, and the resource that Camille and I both really trust is the tax queen, Heather Diamond Ryan. I think it's tax-queen, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm, yeah.
.com.
Yep.
And she's really good. She literally wrote the book on RV entrepreneur taxes and working remotely and dealing with all that. So, yeah, tax-queen.com. You can go, and I'll put that in the link description later after the show for you guys. So, yeah, she's definitely my go-to as well. I was just telling my friend today I needed to hire her to hurry up and do my taxes because I had forgotten to do them already. All right, and I think we have one more question. My name's Linda, and my question is, when you're trying to post a resume on something like LinkedIn and you already have an account or a resume posted for your professional job or your current work, how do you distinguish between that resume versus a new resume where you're trying to branch out and do something maybe like a virtual assistant or something like that?
Okay, so I think it would be hard for me to answer that clearly enough without a little more information. So my hunch is she's got professional jobs she wants to keep that profile up for. And then how do you then keep that, but also create this other profile? I think that's the question.
Yes, that's how I read it.
Okay. But if it's that she wants to branch out into this other future or this other career, then what she needs to do is just take that profile and transition the whole thing to the future. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, if I had project manager on LinkedIn, which I used to have, but really my future is all about becoming a content creator, then I need to start now with changing it over to content creator because I want to start attracting, opportunities for that. Now, I don't know LinkedIn well enough, but I have an expert coming into my course to say, should you start a separate profile? Like, could you have two, right? Two totally separate profiles, one for the professional side, one for, say, the nomadic side. So I need to look into that and see, what would that take? Because I know LinkedIn, you got to build it all up and all of that, but it might be worth having two completely different ID and profiles. So without more information, it's hard for me to give a better answer. But I can follow up once I talk to my LinkedIn expert.
Awesome. Great. Yeah. It read like, she wanted to start to maybe build a bridge from that, current job to what she can do virtually to hit the road, and just, what was kind of kosher in that arena for how that works.
Yeah. I would just slowly modify that resume. I would just start building in the things that get you closer to that future vision.
Okay. And we've got some great comments here. Penny says, Linda, I totally just combined my LinkedIn profile to include my current full-time employer's position and added my copy editor skills to the same profile.
Nice. Good.
Leslie over at Resume, Leslie, she says for this person, they could create a company page for their virtual assistant business or whatever they're trying to come.
That's
so that's really cool.
Leslie knows her stuff too. I know
you
Leslie
guys,
very well.
I know she said something earlier, probably about her resume business. Leslie also comes into the TVC Live every week under Unknown Normal. I'm sure her husband's on the other page. But yeah, they're big members of TVC, and I highly recommend her to help you with your resume and things like that. We've got some great questions coming in.
Cool.
Wayne says, I used to do bookkeeping in an office, AR, AP, filing, etc. How could these skills be transferable to remote bookkeeping work when I wouldn't actually touch the documents?
It's the same skills, exactly the same skills. I mean, if you can bookkeep, first of all, let's just start with a lot of bookkeeping is online these days. So, I mean, if you're literally bookkeeping in a book, that is being modified with, new systems and new software these days. So that's a very easy skill set to take remote. And I know a lot of bookkeepers who work remotely. So it's just a matter of finding the jobs where you're not needing to touch physical books or files or documents, but they're kept online virtually. But it's the same skill set. There's really no difference.
Okay, so he might have to, maybe learn a little bit of new software, but bookkeeping is bookkeeping.
Exactly.
Is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, congrats, Wayne. You just found a job.
It'll be easier than you think.
Yeah, totally. I was just at the full-time family reunion, and there was a woman there, another member of TVC, Angelica, and she has a bookkeeping service just for nomads and their companies. So, yeah, and she said she was able to transfer all of that online and hit the road. So, perfect. Wayne, there's a future in it for you, baby.
Yep.
Rachel asks a really good question. Are there customer service jobs or companies that allow you to use a cell phone rather than a landline?
I don't know specifically about a cell phone, but there are certainly enough customer service jobs out there where you can use your computer and then they use some kind of software integration with a phone service. I'm sure there are some that use cell phones as well. I mean, people do that all the time. But the bottom line is customer service is in the top 20 hot remote jobs right now. Those are everywhere. I mean, in terms of remote jobs, American Express hires remote, JP Morgan hires remote. Disney, are you okay over there? Okay. So yeah, there are a ton of jobs out there for customer service. That's probably within the top 5, I believe, top hot remote jobs on the market today. So I think you're going to be golden if customer service is something that you're interested in.
Yeah, I agree. My job is customer service. It's not a traditional customer service where, I work for Dell or something and I'm picking up the phone. But one of the reasons that I was hired was actually because it's an online business. I work for a blog in their customer service. And they hired me basically because the current customer service role, the person was afraid to pick up the phone, not afraid, but she just didn't like being on the phone. She preferred being online. And I think if you can transfer those skills as well, you're used to being on the phone where a lot of it is done, via email nowadays. If you can say, hey, I can pick up the phone. I love talking to people. I can get things done really quick, with a 30-second phone call. People see that as an asset nowadays because so much is online that it can be hard for people to pick up the phone. They can get nervous. They don't know, you know how it is. Especially, I think people my age, we never call people. We're always texting. We're always messaging. Like, why is this person calling me? I'm not picking up the phone when you're literally just watching Netflix. And then you just text them hey, I'm in the bathroom. I can't pick up. Wow. It's so true. That's a look into the life of millennials.
I love it.
So they really, truly, both my boss and the superior, they both said, we love that you said you can pick up the phone, because that's something neither one of us like to do. And sometimes you get a customer that really just needs to talk it out, really just is not understanding what you're saying and just having a conversation. I would put that on my resume. If you're looking for a customer service job, like willing to talk on the phone, if it's mostly remote and online. Because that, I think, really sold me, saying like, hey, I'm a people person. I like to talk to people. And they're like, wait, you can call people? And I get probably once a month, hey, Liz, can you call this person? They're just really not getting it. And I'll call people and, have conversations, and they go from, up to here to like way down here, ready to like purchase another program.
That's awesome.
And so, yeah, I think it's definitely an asset. And, if you're thinking of customer service in that traditional, I work for Dell.com and I'm just answering calls, there's a lot that are just purely online, and being able to use the phone is an asset. So I don't think it's going to be like, oh, I don't have a landline. I think there's lots of different customer service jobs. Like you said, it's like top 5 or whatever. So it's just think of it differently than you would have 10, 15 years ago.
For sure.
Yeah. Somebody said companies that require hard connections will require you to verify your connection. They will use a speed test process. Yeah.
Some will, some won't. I mean, a lot of times companies will put you need to be hardwired in the job description because they want to have a reliable employee. And sometimes it's a matter of just getting on the phone and having the conversation and being able to tell them why you're reliable and dependable. I mean, Liz did that. I remember that. Your employer wanted you to work from home and have a landline and all that, and you got on the phone with them and you were really honest.
I was like, hey, I don't have none of that, but let me tell you what I do have.
Exactly. And you turned that into a strength. And I think that's really important for people, because I get that a lot. They're like, well, but they want a hardwire. I'm like, well, they think they do, but try to get them on the phone.
Really, they just want somebody to get it done.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. And we actually talk about that in Camille's course, Remote Work 101. I'm one of the experts, guys. Can you believe it? And I just talk about how I turned all those, you would think setbacks into actual strengths to really like nail it that I was the right person. Because like Camille said, they're really just looking for someone that can get it done, that, anyone can fill the position. They have, hundreds of resumes probably, but they're looking for that person that can work remotely. Because anyone can do it, but not everyone can work from home. Yeah. And look, it's like completely dark now. And so you really have to have that, what would you say? Stick to itness. Yes. And so that's what I think in an interview, once you get one, you really have to drive home, is that you have that drive and determination to get it done no matter what. Because even in a house, your internet could go out. I'm in a house right now, and the internet wasn't working on the other side of the house, so I came out on the porch to get it done.
I love it.
I'm getting bit up so bad, you guys.
Are you really? Oh, no.
It's Florida. I'm in the bayou. I'm like in the swamp. Oh, my gosh. I'm over here when you're, like, when Camille's on screen, and I'm, like, scratching my legs and stuff. Anyway, I wasn't checking the comments, so if you guys have more questions, bring them in. But as you guys do that, I do want to talk about Camille's course, because I am in it. Like I said, Camille really did help me find a job. I was about to hit the road. If you saw the first Full-Time Freedom Week, you knew I was freaking out every day. And, my blog wasn't yet monetized to the point where, I could feed my family. And Ed was just getting out of the military, and he was very worried too that he wasn't going to be able to find work. He had a couple months off before he started the RV mechanic school, and so we were both just, stressed up to here. Like, my hair was out to here, my eyes were drooping, and Camille said, Liz, if you want to get a job, you can get a job. You are obviously highly skilled, and you just have to take those skills, that stick-to-itness and all that, and just, figure out a way to word it for the right employer. Mm-hmm. And that's what I did. And I owe Camille so much peace of mind those first 6 months on the road when my blog was growing, Ed's business was growing, just to have that steady income every week. I mean, it was a part-time job, so it's not, I'm outside. I'm not at the Hilton or something right now. Just at my buddy's house in the swamp. But just to have that peace of mind and that security of having, those 10, 15, 20 hours a week that I could work and I could get paid just helped us so much out on the road. And that's why I love this program so much, because she just puts things so simply and really believes in you and helps you believe in yourself. And we were talking just a couple weeks ago, and I was telling her this, and she said, yeah, but you're Liz Wilcox. And I said, no, the only difference between Liz Wilcox and someone else is that I believe in myself and I believe I can get that job, and you helped me do that. It's not me. Like, it really was Camille's help and her program. So that's why I'm always promoting it every time she launches it. And that's why I went in as the expert to share how I, turned my weaknesses into strengths. And yeah, I love this program. I think it's great. And if you need a remote job, or if you're feeling like, I don't know, I really suggest trying it out. And I know she also does, I think, a 2-week money back guarantee. If you check it out and you say, you know what, Camille, this isn't for me, I know she'll give you your money back, no harassment. So it's really, if you want that job, I really highly recommend getting Camille on your team, because I mean, if she can help this thing, she can help you. She was making fun of me before. I had the headband down here.
Headband.
She was like, Liz, that does nothing. Like, why are you wearing this? I'm like, you're right. Like,
so fun. Oh, look at that. It's so much better.
Yeah. See, I mean, she's helping me in all sorts of ways, guys.
Well, I just want to say that is very heartwarming. One of the things that I love doing is, and I've done this for over 20 years, is I love being a part of someone's success and their growth. And I just feel really honored when people allow me into their lives to help them. And I'm so happy to hear that you feel that way, Liz, because I didn't even know that until like 6 months ago. You were like, hey, did you know that you're the reason I even got that job in the first place? I'm like, no, I guess I really didn't connect the dots there. And then we started talking about it. So it just it warms my heart that I'm able to help like that. That is something I'm very passionate about, is helping people go after their dreams, get past their confidence issues, because I think a lot of this is confidence, and also really understand what they're worth in terms of what they should be earning, their salary, their hourly rate, or their annual salary, whatever it is. I'm just very passionate about helping people understand their value in the marketplace.
Yeah, that's good. Johnny Lightning says, so Camille is responsible for all this. Yes, I really do. I mean, I know that sounds so lame and like corny, but I mean, like I said at the beginning, Camille and I have been working so closely together for 2 years. And just like she said, I wouldn't be blogging if I didn't have Liz, on my back. I feel the exact same way about her. And this is another funny thing. Somebody emailed me the other day and said, oh, I love you and Camille. Camille is the wise one, and you're just the funny young one. And I was like, we're not related, or we don't have a blog together, right? Because she's like, I've just been following you both. But, I mean, we really are, like what you see right here, we are friends, but we do help each other in our businesses as well. And I really do, I really do think Camille, as well as a few other partners that I've, established, have helped me come so far. Delphia says, I'm currently doing the remote work 101 classes right now. Awesome.
Yeah, I know Delphia. Yeah, she just came in this week.
Congrats.
Awesome.
Oh, here's another question, and maybe people in the comments can answer as well. Maybe you might know. So Camille is obsessed with freelancing right now. So this is about freelancing. Technical question on getting paid. Has anyone ever used the bank app Zelle to receive payment transferred electronically from your client?
I have.
Really? I've never heard of it.
Yep.
So I read that and I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have read that out loud. I never heard of that.
Yeah, I use it all the time.
Okay.
It's another way to transfer money from bank to bank. And what's cool about it is it doesn't charge a fee. So it's better for me. I think it's better than PayPal or some of these other platforms where they're going to charge you for the transaction fee with Zeal. I call it Zeal. Maybe it's Zelle, but
I just had never even seen the word before. So
yeah, I don't think they charge a fee. So it's pretty slick. It's nice.
Yeah. Lana says, yes, I have a monthly freelance gig that pays me through Zeal. It's magic, direct to my bank account. Dang, y'all, I'm learning stuff tonight. I never even heard of it.
That's great.
This is awesome. Reed says, I can attest to the dedication that Camille has to helping people as she has helped me. She's a powerhouse, and I'm absolutely grateful to have met her.
Oh, that's so sweet.
What a doll.
Reed has been so helpful too. Reed was actually my tech virtual assistant and community manager for the webinar. And by the way, I hope Reed doesn't mind me telling this. I'm going to tell this. I'm going to tell Reed.
I'm just going for it. It's live.
I'm going to go for that. I'm going to tell Reed's secret right now. When Reed and I started working together, he had no virtual assistant skills. No, he didn't come having this background. His background is in IT security, and we started working together. And what I saw in him, even though he didn't have, traditional, experience, he had like none in this realm, online stuff. I saw his transferable skills, and I knew that he could do the job, with some training and with some support, and he has. And so I think that, again, it's just an example of, you don't have to always have the experience, but you have to have the commitment. And you have to be able to talk to what you're capable of. And that's exactly what he did. And now look, he's got all this experience and all these skills out of it. So that's Reed's story.
Great job, Reed. Camille was bragging you up. We went out to dinner a few weeks ago and she was like, oh my gosh, Reed, I don't know what I would be doing without him. So
it's so true.
That's awesome. All right, so we've only got about 20 minutes left, and you want to play a game?
Yeah, I love games.
All right, cool. So this is going to be a fun game where I want you guys to interact, and at the end, I'm just going to pick a random winner because it's going to be kind of hard to figure out like who actually got the questions right and who didn't. But, excuse me, if you play along and, I guess if you're in the comment section and you're playing along and I see your name, I might pick you as a winner to win my RV maintenance course, which is coming out next week. All the details will be coming out this weekend in an email. I'm sure you guys have seen me promoting it like crazy. But first, before we start, I wanted you guys to know, if you are interested in learning more about Camille's course, I have the link in the description. Ed, if you're watching, can you copy and paste that for me? Reed is the community manager. Copy and paste that link for me, Reed. Let's see how good you are.
We want it to be your link, Liz, right?
It is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, and full disclosure, it's an affiliate link, but like I said, I am a student in the program. It's not just something, because I love Camille so much. This is something that I've seen. I get the updates. I watch the stuff. The expert interviews are amazing. And if you buy through my link tonight and you shoot me an email showing me that you purchased, I'm also going to throw in a blogging bonus, how to blog as a business. I think I have, hang on. I did like a fancy little slide here. Yeah.
Oh.
So a TVC exclusive blog as a business bonus. If you purchase tonight, you'll get a few bonuses from Camille, which I'll let her talk about, and then you'll get my blog as a business bonus as well. Can you share the bonuses real quick? Because I forgot.
Yeah, so I'm running a promotion until this Thursday. So in addition to the course, which people can check out in the link, I'm offering 3 more bonuses. One is a 5-pack done for you resume templates. So one of the things my students struggle with is getting started on their resume. So these are templates that are already pre-built for remote jobs. It's going to save people hours by just dropping in their own information into the resume. The second one is called a Crush It with Confidence coaching session. Because again, a lot of my students struggle with confidence and just feeling like they can interview well or they can talk about their skills well. And so I'm doing a live group coaching session with the folks who sign up this week. And we're going to just dig into how do you actually build your confidence, and then how do you then share that in all these different opportunities. And then the last one that I'm super stoked about, the last bonus, is called the quarterly level up meetings. So what I've noticed with my students is about every 90 days, they grow into a new, almost like they shed some old skin and they sort of like have this new fresh like desire to do more things. Like, oh, maybe now they're ready to earn more money or get a different job or a new job or freelance. And so every 90 days, I'm going to meet live with everybody who wants to do this. And we're going to just level them up. Like, should you charge more money? What should you be doing next? Do you want to start your own thing now? So those are the 3 bonuses that are available until Thursday when you buy the program. I know. Yes.
And my microphone was muted. Oh my gosh, you guys, seriously. I said, well, this is live, and then I muted myself. But yeah, you'll get my blog as a bonus, blog as a business bonus. That's what I spoke about at the Full-Time Families Rally last week when I was not here. And Camille and I have worked together on a coaching program for that as well. So you'll get a little bit of that too. Dick says, Camille, do the bad lip reading. Yeah,
See,
I'm so sorry, you guys. I can
actually hear you. Yeah.
I'm so off on my game. Yeah, and Camille can hear me, so she doesn't know. All right, thank you guys for being so cool. Let's play this game. We are going to play fact or fiction, remote work addition. And so I'm going to ask a couple questions, fact or fiction, and then Camille's going to tell us, whether they're true or not. Linda says she still can't hear me. Can you guys hear me? Delphia says she can't hear me either. Can you guys, okay, they can hear me now. I'm like, okay, now that the bugs, y'all, if I eat a bug tonight, somebody's got to give me $1. Like I said, there's no sponsors on this, so I gotta work for something here. All right, you ready, Camille?
Yep, I'm ready.
Cool. Are you guys ready? All right, and somebody's walking out, of course. All right, so we're fact or fiction. All right, the first question, or statement rather, is the remote job market is hotter than ever with more jobs than ever.
Fact or fiction?
Fact or fiction? Fact or fiction? All right, now, of course, it's delayed. Like it hasn't been delayed the whole time. And now it's people, oh, here we go. Comments are rolling. Okay. So fact. True. All right. What is it, Camille?
Oh, good. Everybody knows. It is a fact. So maybe some of these folks came to my webinar the other day and
did you ask these same questions? Of course.
Yes. Good. Yeah. Fact. That's right. It's hotter than ever. There are over 40% of the workforce now is working in some kind of remote capacity. So lots of growth here and more to come.
Awesome. Yeah. I was surprised that there were so many jobs. Once I got my remote job, I became more interested in how many were out there and talking to people. And yeah, it is really hot. It's so hot right now. Camille said I looked like Napoleon Dynamite earlier with if you guys have ever seen that movie. So yeah, I'm channeling my inner Dynamite. It's so hot right now. All right. If you guys went to the webinar, then you are going to ace this. All right. You should use an objective statement on your resume. Fact or fiction?
I think the statement is you should use an objective statement on your resume. Is that right?
Yeah, you should use an objective statement on your resume.
Fact or fiction? Okay.
Resume Leslie says fiction.
Ooh, interesting. Yeah.
Someone says go vote for Pedro.
Yes, I like that person.
Rachel says fiction. Johnny says no, fiction. What is it, Camille?
Okay. Ooh, these people are good, Liz. You got a good audience. It is fiction. People often make the mistake of using an objective statement, which is something like, I'm a job seeker looking to work for skills, but that is not what you want to do on a resume. Instead, you want to have a professional summary, which is more at the level of explaining who you are, what you do, and how you're going to add value to the company. Like, I'm a 15-year accounting professional. I've worked in fast-paced environments, et cetera, et cetera. So that there's a little tweak there that's really important for people to get right.
Okay. Yeah. Some people are saying fact. Some are saying fiction. So thanks for clearing that up. I didn't even know. I was like, what the heck's an objective statement? I was like, am I in, when you're in like 10th grade geometry or there's some math class that says like objective and subjective. I always get them mixed up. So I was like, I don't even know what that means. I always forget. So I was like, I was really curious. Resume Leslie says, yes, Camille's totally right. I deal with this issue on resumes all the time. And yeah, and I think that was one of the things that stood out, made my resume stand out too, was being able to, what did you call it again? A summary?
It's either like a professional summary or a summary statement or just summary. It's just a little different. I mean, people call it all kinds of things, but basically you don't want to put at the top of your resume that you're looking for a job, which is what I see a lot.
It's pretty obvious at that point.
Right.
Yeah, and Dick, this is actually a really good comment. Usually he's sarcastic, but this is really good. Employers don't care what you want. They want to hear, I saved my last employer $10,000. Or,
yes. Yes, he knows his stuff.
Yeah, he's good. Johnny says, is there a business that doesn't think it's fast-paced? Dick says, mortuary science. I'm sorry, I had to read that one out loud. That was great, guys. If you're watching the replay, I hope you didn't skip that part because that's gold.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Well, I'll tell you, my last job, I worked for a mutual fund company, and it was a more conservative one. It was more about long-term holding. So they wouldn't say that it was a fast-paced environment. It was just although it ended up being in the end, but yeah, sure. There are lots of places out there that aren't fast-paced. Just depends.
That's true. I mean, I work for a blogger, right? Like he's made $1 million blogging and he's gotten caught up in becoming really fast-paced. And as someone who is a small business, every year he takes intentional steps to slow things down and really, figure out what he wants. And I think that's awesome. And I love that a lot of remote jobs are for smaller businesses, because you get a lot of more, say in it and personality too, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And ownership. And,
ownership.
You feel a sense of ownership.
Yeah. So anyway, back to the game.
Okay.
All right. Here's a good one. Got my professional notes, guys. You should always fill in a gap in your employment, even if it's just taking care of a family member.
Anything coming up yet? Okay. Did they hear it? Let's make sure they heard it.
Okay. It's just sometimes the comments are delayed.
Okay.
For streaming purposes. Fact. No, fiction. Fact.
Yeah.
What do you think, Camille?
Well, it's a little bit of a trick question. So it's almost like a two-part question. Should you always fill in a gap in your employment? Let's start with yes. You should always fill in a gap in employment, even if you haven't worked for a couple of years or whatever, because if you leave that gap in there, then your resume is probably going to get booted out of a system. You have to fill it with something. Try to fill it with a project you've worked on, volunteer work you've done. But if there's just nothing else left, at least fill it with you've been caretaking, raising a child, caring for a parent, whatever is true for you. Fill it with something. Otherwise, that resume is just going to get booted out of
the system. Whatever.
Ah.
All right. Can you guys hear me? Hey guys, I'm sorry. I see a question mark. It looks like I'm live. So now it will have an even...
You look live.
Yeah, now it will have an even slower lag because I couldn't set the settings. Yeah, okay, you guys can hear me. I'm so sorry about that. Like I said, I am at someone's house, and that someone just came home, so they might have gotten on the internet without me being able to say, please don't get on the internet. Gotta love that. All right, that's someone who doesn't work remotely. But it's all good. So we were just talking about your resume getting booted out of the system. Can you explain that, Camille?
Yeah. So what I started to say is the resumes go through systems now. These are computer systems that are looking for keywords, looking for jobs that align with the jobs you're applying to. And if you don't fill your resume with the right information or the right keywords, it'll get kicked out of the system, meaning no human will ever see your resume. So you got to do things to kind of get it past the system that might, red flag it or, put it in the trash file, basically.
Awesome. Thank you I didn't know that until a couple weeks ago when I heard Camille talking about it on a one of her remote work Wednesdays. I was like, wow, that's crazy. But it makes sense. They get so many resumes, it would be impossible to go through them all. So,
yeah.
Heidi says those darn automated processes.
It's so true.
Yeah, that's so funny. All right. I think I've got two more questions. So, remote jobs pay less money. Fact or fiction?
Ooh.
This could be personal experience too.
Right. Got to think beyond your own personal experience.
Someone says fiction. Nope, fiction. All right, it looks like my internet's back in order. Awesome. Fiction.
Yeah.
Fiction.
Good. I love this. Well, that's good to hear because, Liz, people tell me all the time that the reason they think they can't go on the road is because they're going to have to take a pay cut when they work remotely. And I don't know even where that myth comes from, but it's not true. I mean, remote income can be the same or more than traditional, working in a traditional office. It can be less too. The point is it's all up to you. It depends on what you want to do and, make sure that you know exactly what your income needs are and then understand how to earn at the level you need, which is really knowing your value and how to talk about your value to employers.
Awesome. Thanks. Yeah. So, Lana, that question was, do remote work jobs pay less? She was asking what the question was. And last, fact or fiction, people tend to discredit their skills. Fact or fiction? That made it sound like there was more to that.
So the question is, people tend to discredit their skills.
Yeah. Faction.
Okay.
Fact or fiction? Lisa says fact. I think this is like a life question, right?
Right.
All right.
So
everyone's saying fact.
Yes, it's true, Liz. And it just breaks my heart. I see people discredit their skills, underestimate their skills, or they're shy, or they're like afraid to say what they're good at. This is especially true with women. Men do it sometimes, but I think you see it more common in women. A lot of that has to do with how we're raised. Don't toot your horn, be demure, don't speak out loud. But, that's not going to get you a job, and it's certainly not going to get you paid what you're worth. So, you have to take credit for your skills. You got to own it, and you got to tell people what you're good at.
Awesome. That's great advice, Camille. And obviously my mother taught me to be as loud as possible. So just unique. Yes, it's very unique. I've realized as I get older, it's very unique. So shout out to Mama Dawn. Um, but yeah, it's definitely, I think, in our culture to say like, oh, I think for everyone to kind of deflect compliments. So it's hard to
Yeah.
know that about yourself when you're constantly saying, oh, no, no. So if you guys have any
Totally.
more questions, let me know. I'm going to wrap it up with Camille, I think. You can also email me or Camille with your questions. I know most of you have my email. Camille, can you tell us your email?
Sure. It's hello@morethanawheelin.com. And it's on my website on the contact page.
Yep. And again, I know Reed, thank you, MVP over here. Always on the job. Can't stop, won't stop. Of course, she's got some awesome bonuses that expire in about 48 hours. And if you purchase the course through me, you'll also get that TVC exclusive bonus of blogging as a business. I know a lot of you personally are trying to do that right now, and I will be technically, depending on your lawyer, contractually obligated to help you with that if you purchase the course tonight. Mike says, thank you for all that you do. Heidi says, buffering again. Great.
Okay.
But anyway, all right. Well, I'll let you go, Camille. Thank you so much. People are starting to say thank you, so it sounds like it's okay.
Thanks.
Sorry,
Thanks,
it's buffering,
everyone.
guys. They'll catch up later. All right. Thanks, Camille.
Yeah,
I'll
just
talk to you later.
email me. All right.
All right.
Bye, Liz.
And you're going to have to hang up for me. All right. Awesome, you guys. Hey, I am so sorry about that, you guys. Thanks for sticking around. I hope it's buffering. My email is liz@thevirtualcampground.com. Ed, if you're here, can you pop that in the comments for Delphia, liz@thevirtualcampground.com. I know we're kind of buffering, but I am going to try one last thing, and I know we're a couple minutes behind. But as you guys know, I didn't pick the winner. I didn't pick the winner for the RV maintenance course. All right, I'm just going to scroll, and whoever I see wins the course. And you guys can email me if you win at liz@thevirtualcampground.com. All right. I scrolled, and the RVers, I don't know your name. I can't remember. The RVers, you just won the RV maintenance course. That comes out Monday, March 18th. It isn't even live yet, and you just won it. It's $97, and it's limited enrollment. So you just got one of those spots. It is the RVers. You can email me at liz@thevirtualcampground.com. You just won the course. It's made by my husband, the RV tech, and myself. And if you're interested in the remote work course, Reed just popped that in the comments one more time. Thanks, Heidi. Thanks, Ed. And so we are going to end tonight with another segment of Yo Ed. This is Ed answering questions from you, just like Camille did. This is just a few minutes long, and then we will end the show for you.
Yo, Ed, can I ask you something?
Yo Ed, my name's Chip, and how would you tap up an outlet under a cabinet left of our microwave? I want to add another outlet behind the sink. I'm not sure if it's safe to run a wire down the wall and cover it with metal or plastic raceway. I can't get behind the wall because it's exterior. I received a $500 quote from an RV place to have them run one outlet. Thoughts?
Now, as far as running outlets, I've actually run into this issue where we've got spots inside of our coach that have no outlets, and it just gets annoying. But if you have a bonded wall, like our coach has a bonded wall, so that means it's fiberglass on the outside, a layer of styrofoam, and then a layer of Luan. And I'm not going in that wall for anything unless I have to, because that is a huge pain in the neck to take apart. And also, once you take it apart, you lose that strength from it actually being a bonded wall, because the styrofoam does add rigidity in between those two layers. And it also adds an insulation layer. So I'd run an extension cord. I would plug the extension cord into that socket, and then find one that's the right length. Even if you want to cut an extension cord and wire a different end on it, use your raceway that you were talking about. But since the plug for your microwave is inside of a cabinet, I would just use that raceway right over the door, and just run an extension cord exactly where you want it, and then put either a power strip or some other plug situation to have the electricity that you want in that area. Not ideal, but I wouldn't want to go digging into a wall just for an outlet for convenience. It's going to end up not being convenient in the end.
Yo, Ed, my name's John, and I'm wondering what the best way to mount a TV is for my RV. The dealer wanted $100 just to hang it in the bedroom.
All right, now inside of each room, there's going to be a specific place to mount a TV. There's going to be the best place to put it, and it should have just a little sticker on the wall that says Mount TV here. So that is actually inside the wall. They put a panel that is actually a little bit stronger. It's usually some kind of metal. And what it does is it's an actual stronger area so you can screw right into it. And personally, make sure you don't get too long of a screw and just get a mount from anywhere where you want to get a mount from. If you see a nice mount at Best Buy, or if you see one on Amazon, you see one at Harbor Freight. That's really all you need to do is just make sure you find that spot in the wall that says Mount TV here, and you can just zap screws right into it and make sure it's level, make sure it's square, make sure everything is good to go. But usually that's going to be your best spot to mount that TV. I wouldn't even peel the sticker off the wall. I would just mount it right on top of it. And also, tech tip, a lot of times the short screws are the ones for the TV, not the long ones. So if you get in your TV when you're going to mount it, you don't really want to use the long screws because that's going to go too close into the picture and it's probably going to ruin it if you jam them all the way in.
Yo, Ed, my name's JR, and how do you maintain the exterior appearance of your RV?
Well, one thing you can do is wash it, because a lot of people, I don't know how often you wash your RVs, but they show that you park under trees. So washing is one good way. You can find a good gel coat conditioner that will work for the fiberglass. You can wax it. But really the big thing is just keeping it clean. You can use, just like a regular wax. You can wax the nose of your RV, or if you have a travel trailer, really just keeping it clean is the biggest thing. A good wash will go a long way with a lot of these RVs. You'll see something that's been parked under a tree for years. And really just a good scrubbing will get most of that off.
Hey, thanks, Ed.
All right, guys, thank you for sticking around through all the internet issues and everything else tonight. I really appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed that Yo Ed segment. And if you're on Facebook, I hope you've been enjoying the 1-minute tips. We've been posting every day for the last few days. And like I said, the RV maintenance course, Fix It Yourself, that we've been promoting for the last, 5 weeks, is coming out on Monday, March 18th. That's actually my birthday. So I'm super excited to be launching this course with Ed on my birthday. It's something we've been working on really hard, and I'm just excited to bring it out in the world and for you guys to see it, because we made it just for you. And so next week we are going to talk all about RV maintenance. I'm so excited. Ed is going to come on live with me. We won't be together, so it will be actually just like Camille and I tonight, where we answer your questions, talk all about RV maintenance. If you guys know me in real life, when we hit the road, I barely knew what a screwdriver was, and now working with Ed on this course, I feel so much more confident that, if something happened to Ed and we were out on the road and he couldn't fix the RV, I would be able to fix it myself. Seriously, I'm not even joking. It's been so amazing to go through this course with him, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. And so next week on Tuesday, March 19th, the day after the course goes live, Ed and I are going to go live with you guys to talk all about RV maintenance, to talk about creating the course, answering all the questions that you asked me about the course, so we know if it's the right fit for you. Because like I said earlier, it is limited enrollment. This is a beta launch, so we just want a certain number of people to come in and tell us what they think of it. So I hope to see you guys here next week for the RV maintenance with Ed. And I hope you guys have been enjoying all the tips that Ed and I have been creating for you the last 5 or 6 weeks. And we can't wait to launch the course. So Yeah, I'm super excited. So I hope to see you guys next week, and I will be at the RV Entrepreneur Summit next week as well. So if you're there, I'll be in the lodge. Come find me. I'm super excited to meet you guys in person and excited to see you guys next week. Thank you so much. Good night.